Hello, my name is Mitchell Brown. This is part 2 of my ideal Elder Scrolls 6. Last time I dealt with the fact that my ideal Elder Scrolls 6 would be fairly massive and the world would be filled with creatures rather than bandits and whatnot, for the most part. And that I'd enjoy it being set in the Summerset Isle. Today, I'm going to talk about how I want the prologue to go. The prologue is what I would deem ideal. So, the game starts at the height of the Second Great War. Say the war's been going around for a decade, maybe more. So what happens to your character is that you have been captured by the Thalmor and you are being sent to a prison camp on the Summerset Isle. You create your character almost the same way as in Morrowind. You go through processing as you are a prisoner. You're a deserter as well. Like, something happened and for some reason you are a deserter. You would have the option to deny that you are a deserter, which doesn't help how people view you, but it is an option for your own personal character. You'll spend about an hour or two running quests in the prison. These quests will take place over the course of several days, where you'll have to go to bed after completing one or two tasks for one of the two factions within the prison. In the prison, the factions are the warden and this sort of gang leader of the prison. The guy who was like a commanding officer in the Imperial Army, and he was captured and he managed to rally most of the troops in there under him. Now you can do some things for him, or you can do some things for the warden. Neither will really like you or trust you too much, but you'll be doing minor things. Regardless of what happens, regardless of which side you choose, the prisoners stage a revolt. And they end up getting some Imperial support because the commander happens to be a noble. You can discover this, but fundamentally it's not necessary for the plot to happen, so the plot can happen without you discovering it. Makes it more of a surprise, I guess, but I enjoy the idea of the characters you encounter having things that you can discover about them, particularly people who are going to be important or would have been important. So, upon this, regardless of which option you chose, you end up in a rather... It's sad, but you have to go along this rather linear rebel sequence where it doesn't really matter which side you're on. You're doing because you could have been helping the wardens, or you could have been helping the rebels. But fundamentally, something happens and you are separated from everyone. The camp is burning. All the prisoners and wardens are basically dead, for the most part. Particularly most of the people you've encountered up till now. And the last person you find dead is the noble dude. He is actually under orders to be an Imperial spy and settle around and stir up unrest within the Summerset Isle to help the Empire win the war. Now you have two options on what to do with this information. You can either A, go and join the Thalmor, or B, go to where he's supposed to meet. Now, to meet his contact for the next phase of the plan. Now, of course, I'm allowing the option to turn it into the Thalmor. However, that option will have you somewhere. That option is viable for the main quest, too. Because you're not turning it into the Thalmor, you're turning it into the actual main body of the High Elven government. Now, what this leads to is, regardless, the Thalmor are the enemy, and they're trying to unravel the world. But that's later, not important right now. So you've escaped the prison, you have this letter, and you can decide one of two things. You can either go to the location and meet the spy master, or you can go to the other location or you can go and turn it into someone sufficiently high up enough in the ranks, probably someone who'd come in during the prologue to talk to the warden and then leave. And he'd be with the government, and that's who you'd turn it into. Regardless, or you could turn it into neither and then start exploring everything. You are now free, your records of imprisonment were destroyed, it's all well and good. You can join any of the guilds. That's just sort of my ideal prologue. You do a few quests, learn a few basics of everything, and it's very, very self-contained, but it's still that you're a nobody, nothing's going to happen, you just lucked into this position. Another thing on the note will be that, they don't know the person. Another thing on the note is that they don't know who they sent, who the Empire had decided to send to be this person. So you are the only person who knows that the Empire sent this noble dude. That's why you can pose as him. Just, establishing that they didn't send a picture or a name. Like, it's actually rather easy for this to happen, because you're sort of supposed to be the public figure, is what it says. You're going to. It says we have sent a skilled agent to stir up unrest and aid you in destabilizing the Thalmor. And the fundamental idea is, we can take out the Thalmor, this war and what's driving it ends, for the most part. Then peace talks can begin, and both sides can recover, because this war has been going on for, I'd say, over a decade, longer. Like, if the last Great War was 30 years, this one would be probably heading into its 40th or 50th. That's sort of the way I'd like to see that as, this world is at war, very World War II-ish, but fundamentally, and while I do want to keep the tone of fundamentally, you were in the right place at the right time to get this job. Both sides would be rather similar too, on either side. You're still trying to take out the Thalmor, but one side is also trying to, is also going to have destabilize the rest of the High Elven Empire. So it's really up to you, and that's what I like. This is it.